Okay. This didn't turn out the way I expected, but it still looks a little pretty good to me. We'll have to see. You'll have to be the judge. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, KRISTINA. This is where I read books, talk about books, no special effects, no D music, none of that fancy stuff going on here. So, welcome to If Then. I think 60, 60 or 61 around there. And I was thinking of May and please go East. I don't know why, but I was thinking of May and mothers and knitting. So please go check out my knitting cozy mysteries earlier this month. And then I got a little carried away with Mother's Day. So please go check out my Mother's Day cozies. And we end the month, or we might do new releases at the end of the month. I'm going to try and figure this out. But we also have Memorial Day at the end of the month. So I decided to lean military. And I started, these are not all what I expected them to be. These are not all what I was looking for. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sorry for the bouncy. Sorry for the bouncy. Um, so these were not what I was looking for, but some of them turned out pretty good. And the last one is the gold star one because it's been on the bestseller list for months now. So let's get through these. These are sort of kind of contemporary romance involving the military. Sort of kind of. So go with the flow and see what happens. All right, let's see. Debbie Maycomer, the best is yet to come. A new beginning in charming Oceanside, Washington is exactly what Hope Goodwin needs after the death of her twin brother. There are plenty of distractions like a cozy cottage with the slightly nosy landlords next door and a brewing drama among her students at the local high school. Even having settled into the community, Hope feels that something is missing. That is until her landlords convince her to volunteer at the animal shelter. There she meets Shadow, a rescue dog everyone has given up on. But true to her name, Hope believes he's worth saving. Of course he's worth saving. There she is. There's my darling boy. Sorry. Like Shadow, shelter volunteer Cade Lincoln is suffering from injuries most can't see. A wounded ex-Marine, Kane identifies Shadow with assuming they are both beyond help. Hope senses that what they both need is someone to believe in them, and she has a lot of love to give. As she gains Shadow's trust, Hope notices that Kate is beginning to open up as well. Finding the courage to be vulnerable again, Kate and Hope take steps toward a relationship. We'll see what happens. Debbie Maycomer did good. She did good with this. And let's not move. I threw in a couple of raunchies. Lindsay McKenna downrange. Captain Morgan Boland is at the top of her game as her former lover, Navy SEAL Jake Ramsey, then a military computer, selects them to partner in a special op. The mission can't be compromised by personal history, and they have truckloads of it. But the Afghan assignment might provide the discipline they need to finally get together. Outside the bedroom, that is. A lot has happened over the 2 years since they went their separate ways, and there's a way more to Morgan than Jake has ever given her credit for. You don't want to know what I thought of when I saw this title. Hard as it gets. Trouble just walked in Nicholas Ritchie's tattoo parlor. Becca Merritt is warm, sexy, wholesome, pure temptation to a very talented Nick. He's left the military life behind to become a co-owner of Hard Ink Tattoo. But Becca is his ex-commander's daughter. Loyalty won't let him turn her away. Lust has plenty to do with it, too. Uh-huh. Naked guy on the cover. Seal of Honor. It's a good thing Gabe Briscoe lives and breathes the Navy SEAL credo. The only easy day was yesterday, because today his life is unrecognizable. When his prestigious career comes to a crashing halt, he's left with a bum leg and a few prospects for employment that don't include a desk. That is until he's offered the chance to command a private hostage rescue team and free a wealthy American businessman from Colombian paramilitary rebels. It seems like a good deal until he meets his new captain, a drunk Cajun linguist, a boy genius CIA threat analyst, and an FBI negotiator with mob ties, a cowboy medic, and an EOD expert as volatile as the bombs he diffuses. Oh, and who could forget the sexy, frustrating, impulsive Audrey Van Amy? She's determined to help rescue her brother or drive Gabe crazy. Naked guy on the cover. Nicholas Sparks, The Return. Trevor Benson never intended to move back to New Bern, North Carolina, but when a motor blast outside the hospital where he worked sent him home from Afghanistan with devastating injuries, the dilapidated cabin he inherited from his grandfather seemed as good a place as any to regroup. Tending to his grandfather's beloved beehives, Trevor isn't prepared to fall in love with a local. Yet, from their very first encounter, Trevor feels a connection with the deputy sheriff, Natalie Masterson, that he can't ignore. But even as she seems to reciprocate his feelings, she remains frustratingly distant, making Trevor wonder what she's hiding. Further complicating his stay in New Bern is the presence of sullen teenage girl Callie, who lives in the trailer park down the road. Trevor hopes Callie can shed light on the mysterious circumstances of his grandfather's death, but she offers few clues until a crisis triggers a race to uncover the true nature of Callie's past. See what happens there. It's a thick one, too. So, did I make good choices? Are these good choices? Linda Howard, After Sundown. Sheila Gordon, the shy owner of a Tennessee general store, finds safety in solitude. But if anyone can pierce her protective shell, it's Ben Jendigan, the handsome, mysterious ex-military man living alone in the wilds of Cove Mountain. For 2 years, he's kept his distance until the day he appears to warn her that a catastrophic solar storm capable of taking down the power grid is coming. Now Celia must find the courage to become the leader Wares Valley needs. Bitter experiences taught Ben Jerrigan it's best to look out for number one. The former soldier has been living in self-imposed exile, using a top-notch security system to keep people away. But he had to let Sheila know about the impending threat. And now the quiet and undeniable sexy woman is making it too easy for him to lower his guard. Oops, here she comes. Nick Petrie, The Runaway. Working nights at a gas station in an isolated Montana, Helene is desperate to escape both her low-paying job and her predatory boss. So when a kind stranger stops to fill his tank, Helen barely hesitates before asking him for a ride. Willing to go anywhere to start a life over, she may have fled one danger only to run straight into another. War veteran Peter Ash is driving through northern Nebraska when he encounters a young pregnant woman alone on a gravel road. Her car dead, never one to abandon someone in distress, Peter offers her a lift. But what begins as an act of kindness soon turns into a deadly cat and mouse chase across the lonely highways with the woman's vicious ex-cop husband on their trail. The pregnant woman has seen something she never meant to see, but protecting her might prove to be more than Peter can handle. Susan Brockman, Some Kind of Hero. Signature's mix of high octane and action electrifying passion leave readers breathless and eager for more. Navy men don't come tougher than Lieutenant Peter Green. Every day he whips hotshot SEAL wannabes in elite fighters. So why can't he handle one 15-year-old girl? He's ex-death left him a single dad overnight and is unprepared. Though he can't relate to an angst teen, he can at least keep Maddie safe until the day she disappears. Though Pete's lacking in fatherly intuition, his instinct for detecting danger is razor sharp. Maddie's in trouble. Now he needs the troubleshooters team at his back, along with an unconventional ally. Romance writer Shayla Whitman never expected to be drawn into a real-world thriller or to meet a hero who makes her pulse pound. Action on the page is one thing. Actually living it is another story. Real life is a doozy. She sees the panic in her new neighbor's usually fearless blue eyes and knows that there's no greater terror for a parent than having a child at risk. Uh-huh. Absolutely. She's no highly trained operative, but she's smart, resourceful, and knows what makes a teenager tick. So she's gonna help. Threads of Hope, Leslie Gould. Tally Tucker's quiet life of reading and quilting hides her sorrow over her mother's declining health and the lack of a fulfilling future for herself. When her daily life is shaken by her free-spirited neighbor Danielle, who grew up plain but joined the army at 18, Tally's instinct is to distance herself. Yet she finds she can't turn away. Daniel's brother Keenan specifically asks for help. She invites Daniel to visit Plain Patterns Quilt Shop with her, where the story of the plight of a World War I soldier and the girl he left behind resonates with both Tally and Danielle for their different reasons. The Price of Valor. Kidnapped by rebels while serving as humanitarian aid worker in Chechnya, Siege Kincaid has spent the past decade secreting out valuable information about Russian assets in the U.S. to her CIA handler. Fearing for her daughter after being discovered as an operative, Steen sends her to a former Navy SEAL, Hamilton Jones, for safekeeping. Singh is ready to give her life for her country, and she can hardly expect Ham to rescue her after breaking his heart over and over. Hamilton Jones has never forgotten the only woman he's ever loved. Will he take her back? Linda Lael Miller, a lady we like a lot. Rancher and military veteran J.P. McCall loves simple pleasures, the satisfaction of working his family land, the freedom to come and go as he pleases. But ever since his two closest friends have married and started families of their own, J.P. realizes what he's been missing. He's known plenty of women, but now he craves finding the one, and Sarah Worth comes crashing back into his life. She's his buddy sister and the woman who always out of reach. Single mom Sarah Worth has her hands full. After a disastrous early marriage, she's now writing best-selling books by day and caring for her teenagers by night. That doesn't leave a lot of me time, but when an innocent request from JP's help leads to an unforgettable kiss, she's intrigued and unsure. Will she take the chance? Irene Hannon, Starfish Pier. A year ago, ex-Delta Force operator Stephen Rourke left the rigors of combat behind to fishing charters in Hope Harbor to decompress and talk some sense into his kid brother's business is good, but making peace with his past is more challenging than he expected. First grade teacher Holly Miller leads a low-profile existence until she's recruited to advocate for a cause that's dear to her heart. When she solicits Stephen's assistance, sparks fly. Romance? Flash of Fire. When former Army National Guard helicopter pilot Robin Harrow joins Mount Hood Aviation, she expects to fight fires for only one season. Instead, she finds herself getting deeply entrenched with one of the most elite fighting teams in the world, and that's before they send her on a mission that's seriously top secret, with a flight partner who's seriously hot. Uh-huh. Sandra Hill, Life, Love, and the Pursuit of Happiness. Meryl Good knows there are many different kinds of exciting. There's the adrenaline rush he's experienced during his years in the military. There's the thrill of starting up his own treasure hunting company. But topping them all is the surge of exhilaration he feels every time Delilah Jones crosses his path. Oh. Since Delilah moved to Bell Cove to take over her great-uncle's Elvis-themed diner and motel, the locals have been nothing but friendly, and that's the problem. The moment someone gets close enough to figure out her ex-con past, her future will be jeopardized. But keeping Merle at arm's length is even harder. And Elizabeth, the soul of a seal. When scientist Dr. Kimberly Warren's super-secret space mission start dying, Navy SEAL Captain Bennett Sheridan is sent as an astronaut candidate with a hidden agenda to find out who's sabotaging the program. Okay, and here is the #1 book for a long time. And if you've watched Flashback Monday, we have talked about some of her early books. Go check those out. Some of her early books only got 2 and 3 stars. Now, I'm sure this one would get 5 because her writing has grown over the years. But I found that very interesting that some of her early books were really only 2 and 3 stars in Romantic Times Book Review magazine. So go check those out. I got it. But this one has been on the bestseller list for weeks, months, a year maybe? Almost a year? Yeah, I think it's been more than a year now that I think about it, because I talked about last year. KRISTIN Hanna, the woman. Women can be heroes. When 20-year-old nursing student Frances Frankie McCrath hears these words in a revelation, raised in the sun-drenched idyllic world of Southern California and sheltered by her conservative parents, she has always prided herself on doing the right thing. But in 1965, the world is changing and she suddenly dares to imagine a different future for herself. When her brother ships out to serve in Vietnam, she joins the Army Nurse Corps and follows his path. As green and inexperienced as the men sent to Vietnam to fight, Frankie is overwhelmed by the chaos and destruction of war. Each day is a gamble of life and death, hope and betrayal. Friendships run deep and can be shattered in an instant. In war, she meets and becomes one of the lucky, the brave, the broken, and the lost. But war is just the beginning for Frankie and her veteran friends. The real life lies in coming home to a changed and divided America to protect angry citizens. There was protests after Vietnam up the yin-yang. The Woman is the story of one woman gone to war, but shines a light on all women who put themselves in harm's way and whose sacrifice and commitment to the country has too often been forgotten. Tell it to somebody with orange hair, but anyway. So what'd you think? Did I do good? Did I get a bunch of good selections for military reading to honor Memorial Day for military? So what do you think? Did I do good? Was it a good choice? These turned out to be pretty good. Contemporary romances featuring women and all this. This is a little less romance. But I hope you would check some of these out. I hope I did good. And I hope you have a happy Memorial Day weekend. Enjoy! Oh, and don't forget Flashback Monday, where I'll talk about all the books in my favorite magazine. Have a good one.